Hi everybody and welcome on my channel. In today's video I'll be taking you on a step-by-step tutorial on how to nicely PID tune this 5-inch FPV drone by looking at the black box data in the PID Toolbox software. If you need to PID tune a smaller or bigger FPV drone, you can still follow along since this method applies to all FPV drone size. Also, in the description of the video, you will find the link to download the PID Toolbox software. Alright, so let's begin. We start by adding the crossfire preset at 50 Hz on our flight controller. So we go into the presets tab. And I've already got here the crossfire at 50 Hz, but if you don't get in this home page, just click here on the categories, go down and select RC link. Here in the search box you can type crossfire and it will pop up one at 50 Hz and one at 150 Hz. So go with the one at 50 Hz, and then in the list of options here choose the type of flight you are gonna do with this drone. I usually go with cinematic. Click whatever suits you and then click on pick and then save and reboot. I'm not gonna do because I've already done for this drone, but yeah, again, just choose the type of flight you want: racing, freestyle, HD freestyle, cinematic or smooth cinematic. Click on pick, click save and reboot, and then also make sure that your receiver, your RF profile of your receiver is also set on 50 Hz. Okay, let's jump to the next step. First, we need to enable the bidirectional D-shot over here. To do that, in my case, the ESC is BLLES, and I need to connect it to the ESC configurator and flash the latest BlueJ firmware at 24 kHz. I've already done this step, but if you need to do, just go over the ESC configurator as I said and flash the BlueJ firmware at 24 kHz. Once you are done, come back here and enable the bidirectional D-shot here, agree, and then in the same page, the Motors tab, we need to set the motor's pole. Basically, we need to write down the numbers of magnets present in the motor valve. Easy way to do is to look the motor from underneath and count how many magnets there are. In my case, it's 14. And then we need to also select the ESC protocol. I go with the D-shot 300, and the reason behind that I'll explain in a second. Let's save and reboot first. Okay, if we go in the configuration tab, we can see here that the PID loop frequency is at 3.20 kHz. So if your loop frequency is 3.20 kHz, as same as here, or 4 kHz, then in the Motors tab you need to choose the ESC protocol D-shot 300. If the PID loop frequency is at 8 kHz, then you can choose the D-shot 600. We jump now in the PID tuning tab and go in the filter setting. And first we disable the gyro low pass 1. If your drone is a new and clean build, you can easily turn this off. And also we keep the gyro filter multiplier at 1 as a default. And also we need to make sure that the gyro RPM filter is enabled and leave the setting as default. And once we've done this one, we come down here where there is written CPU load, and we need to make sure that the PID loop frequency doesn't exceed the 75%. So in my case here is 38, which is Pretty good. We can now save and go to the next step. Okay, still in the PID tuning tab, we go over here on the right side, dynamic idle value, and we need to assign a value here. So basically, to assign the right value, you need to get the number 100, divide by size of your propellers. In my case, it's a 5-inch props, and gives me the number 20. But I put a little bit higher because a low dynamic idle gives more inverting hang time, but makes the drone unstable at low throttle. But on the other hand, a higher dynamic idle provides less inverted hang time, but locked and stable drone at low throttle. So even if I got the number 20, I put a little bit higher, I might have a little bit less hang time, but I can have the best of both worlds. So we're done with the dynamic idle. We now jump into the rate profile settings. We now go in the rate profile setting and we're gonna adjust the settings here. Since we are gonna do line of sight flights, we need to have straight line here, and we're gonna change everything to 250 degree except for the expo. So this allows us to control the drone pretty easily. Okay, have it done here, click save, and now we jump on the Blackbox tab. In the Blackbox tab now, and as a Blackbox logging device, I've chosen SD card since my flight controller allows me to have an external SD card in. But if your flight controller doesn't support an external SD card, you choose the onboard SD card. Then in the Blackbox logging rate, the recommendation is to have at 1/2, like in this case. And Blackbox debug mode, you need to set on gyro scale. Once you set this up, click on 7 reboot, and we go back into the Blackbox tab. You should have here, if you have chosen the onboard card, you should have here an option to erase the SD card. So go ahead with that and erase everything. So we start nice and fresh for the tuning process. Still in the PID tuning tab, we jump onto the PID profile setting, and we start by removing the feed forward gain, the dynamic damping, and the high gains. So by removing them, for now allows us to establish the first step of the tuning process, which is to find the right relationship between the D and P gains. And now we start to bring the D gain down to, we start from 0.6, and we will do a quick flight for 10-15 seconds, and then so we do the flights 10-15 seconds, disarm the drone, unplug the battery, and the first log at this value will be recorded, and then we come back to betaflight, bring this up to 0.8, and do another quick flight, record another log, come back here, and we will do up to probably 1.2, 1.4, I guess 1.4 the max, and then we will take all the logs into the PID Toolbox software. So we bring this value back to 0.6 and click on save. And also remember to only arm the drone once per plugin, so that one log is recorded each time we move the PID sliders. And I also recommend to use a fresh new battery at each step of the tuning process, so that you will have proper information in the data log. If you are planning to get an action camera on your drone, keep it on while tuning the drone. That's important, so you have a proper tuning if you are planning to carry like a GoPro DJI action camera, and so on. So we're done with the preliminary steps. We are ready now to actually tune the drone. Let's go. Okay, we go into the PID tuning tab. And we're gonna push this one, the D gain, up to 0.8. Save. We're gonna do another quick flight test. Always make sure that at each step you check the temperature of the motors as well. A little bit warm and not too hot. Okay, we go in the Blackbox tab and click on Active Mass Storage Device. So select the logs, got 5 logs, and you can transfer whatever. Open the PID Toolbox, go on Select. You're gonna search for our logs. Okay, yeah, our logs. Starting for the first one, we need to trim them up. Click on Trim. And basically we cut off the takeoff and landing. And we need to do this for all logs. Okay, once the trimming process is done, we go in the step response tool. Okay, yeah, we are in the step response tool. Get our first log, which was at 0.6. Click on Run. And here we just keep an eye on the roll and pitch. And what we need to do in the first step is, that's the gyro, the red line. The number 1 is the set point, so we need to make the gyro go just reach the set point. In this case it's a bit too over, so we run the second log, which was at 0.8. So we see already it's going a little bit down. The log 3 is at 1, the gain at 1. It looks pretty good, 1 at 1. So reset. 1. And we can see the gyro just reached the set point. We pitch and roll. We don't care about you. Just let's have a look at the other ones. You can see it's a bit more shaky. And number 5. Run. Yeah, now the gyro doesn't even reach the set point on both pitch and rolls. So set number 3, run, and number 3 looks good. So we should also put the Y correction on. Yeah, let's have a look. Number 2, run. Number 2 was 0.8, number 3 1, probably 0.9 should be the proper one. Yeah, probably 0.9. I'll have another flight to 0.9 and we'll see how we go. Back in the step response tool, I've just loaded the sixth log, the one at 0.9. We're gonna run Y correction, and it looks very good. So 0.9 is what we need for this drone in D gains. So we get out of here and we go back in betaflight to set the 0.9 and start with the massive multiplier. Okay, go in PID to PID tuning tab again. Already set 0.9 for the D gain, so D gain is set, and we start with the massive multiplier. We start from 0.8 and then again step up 2, so 0.8, 1, 1.2, 1.4. So start with 0.8, save, fresh new battery. Okay, we are back in the step response tool with the logs of the massive multiplier. Make sure in the PID Toolbox you trim those logs as well. So we start with the first log at 0.8, run it, and here you need to put the Y correction. And here we should remove this wobbling stuff. Let's see the other logs, how they look like. Better to run one log at a time. There was a 0.1, sorry, at 1. This 1.2. This is a 1.4. I think the one at 1.2 seems to be the best one. Yeah, let's go with 1.2 master multiplier. So we go down here, we set this one at 1.2. Click on save. And now we start with the high gains. And we go at the increments of 3. So we start at 0.3, then 0.6, 0.9, and probably 1.2. So we start with this one, save. And let's quick flight test to record the log. We take the high gains up to 0.69. Okay, we are back in the step response tool for the high gains. Make sure in the PID Toolbox you trim these logs as well. And let's open them up. So basically here what we need to look at is the gyro reaches the set point, same as we did for the D gain. And So that's the log number 1, which was a high gain at 0.3. So let's reset them up. So 0.3, then 0.6, and we see it starts to go to overshoot. That's 0.9. Yep. And 1.2. Yeah. The best one seems to be the one at 0.3, closest to the set point. Looks good. Okay, we set the high gains to 0.3, and then we go for the stick response. So back to the PID tuning tab, and we set the high gains as we said 0.3. Okay, save, and then we go with the stick response. This one we go, I think, yeah, around 3 as well. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yep. Save. Make sure at each step, when you finish like the first step, the D gains, then you clean up the black box data from your onboard SD card, otherwise it's gonna fill up everything. And okay, that was just a reminder. Anyway, so stick response to 0.3, then 0.6, 0.9, 1.2. That's all, I guess. Save. This. Let's take the stick response up to 0.6 now. Okay, back in the PID Toolbox, we are gonna load the stick response logs. And for these logs, we don't need to trim them up, as well as we don't need the SEP response tool, just the PID Toolbox. So we got the log 1, and what we need to do, basically the stick response is to see how well the drone reacts to the stick commands. And what we do, we just zoom in any area over here, and we see how close the gyro, which is the red one, gets to the set point. So that's log 1 at 0.3. Let's go 0.6. Yeah, that's very close. I think 0.6 seems to be the good one. Log number 3, 0.9. Yeah, some area it goes over here. See? Over here, 0.9 is a bit much, so 0.6 should be the good way to go. And let's have a look here. Yeah, it's not that clean. Here it goes over. Yeah, 0.6 should be the right one. Let's set the stick response down to 0.6. Okay, let's save. we go on the anti-gravity.
If anti-gravity gain is low, when flying and doing only fast throttle movement, the nose of the drone wobbles up and down. So to fix it, bring the anti-gravity gain up so that the drone stays locked, but not too high, otherwise the drone will react weird. We will test at 4 and then at 6 to see how it goes. The best way to test anti-gravity is to give more throttle punch to see how stable the drone is at each value of the anti-gravity. This is the final step. Let's take the drone into the air and see how it flies. Firstly, I fly the drone normally for a bit to see how it feels while flying it and how the drone responds to the stick commands, and it feels good to me. Now I fly in a straight line without touching pitch and roll to see if the drone keeps its track, and it seems to hold it well. Then we check the prop wash performance by making an 180 degrees sharp turn. That's an important thing to check as it tells us that we have done a good tuning process, and I basically see no prop wash, which is good. Lastly, I do a power loop, some other moves to stress the drone up to make sure that nothing crazy happens and everything has gone well. That's all for this video. I hope you have found it useful. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you at the next video. Bye.